So according to you, GL is basically general factor levels. Okay, so we can generate factor levels by using the GL function, as I said yesterday. So for that, the syntax is actually, okay, this was correct, and yeah. So syntax for that was GL and then followed by N, K, and the labels. Now, what were the N, K, and the labels? There was N as the integer, where you give the number of levels, and K as the integer, you give the number of replications. Now, what exactly is that, the number of levels and replications? Suppose you give something in your levels, and that could be anything whatever you have given. Okay, so let's suppose in a level you have given a basically a name. Let's suppose you have written the band. Okay, so now you are giving GL 4 comma 5, and in levels you have written the band. So what will be there? If you have given 3 or 4 or 5 names right there, let me give you an example, you will get clear. Okay, 1 second. Wait a minute. Let me make it loud. So, fine. So what I was saying that, okay, this is an error basically. So if you write GL and in place of N and K, if you write 4 comma 5, let's suppose, okay, I said 4 comma 5. Let's take a very less one. It is okay. Let it be 4 comma 5. And in place of labels, what you do, you write labels whatever you want. So you have to write labels for how many times you have given the value of N. Okay, so you have given N equals to 4, so write some 4 names or whatever you want. So let me write it as labels. Okay, labels is equals to, I get it C out there and keep on writing. Let's say I write Devayan, I write Lakshmi. It's right, I think spelling is Adarsh. Let me write my name out there. Okay, so we have 4 labels now. So what we want exactly? We want a factor, or we want a list here or a vector here of these 4 elements repeating for 5 times. Okay, and we'll get a factor of all these as the 4 factors. These were the 4 factors. This will be your 4 factors, but this will be repeating for the 5 times. So let's go and see what happens. You can see Debayan has been repeated for 5 times, followed by Lakshmi has been repeated for 5 times, then Adarsh has been repeated for 5 times, and then Sumit has been repeated for 5 times, but you got the labels as 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these are your N, and this is your value of K, that every individual has been repeated for 5 times, and your labels are these. Okay. So did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's great. Let's move to data frame. So we saw that data frame was a table or a two-dimensional array-like structure in which each column were containing some values of some particular variable, and each row was containing a set of values from every column. Okay, so let's make a new data frame. So let's continue with yesterday one. So I don't have, I hadn't saved. So let me write it again. Write it. Okay, this will create a problem. Let me get back. Fine. Let's leave this on. So I'll write his script. Okay, fine. Data frame of three, four. That's good. That's it. So I have created a data frame out there. Let's see the output, and we got the output. I'll get back to it. Created, and let's run this. Okay, fine. So get it print emp dot data. Fine. Data frame, employee ID, employee name, salary, start date, string as factors. So that's good. So problem aspect itself. Run this. Is there any problem? Data dot frame, that's what's okay, equals to is fine. C, employee name is fine, salary is okay, start date is okay, there is no problem, string as factors is equals to false, and that's it. Object not found. Okay. Yes, it hasn't found the object. So the problem is here. Where has been the problem? There we have objects. Yes. 4, 5. So it's a proper data frame of everything is fine. Start date, last start date. Okay, so you guys run it in your system, see, check whether any problem is coming or not. Okay, no messages. So I think it's okay, check now. Why it's coming like a normal source? It will not run. Object employee data not found. I have created it. Hmm. One, two, three, four, five. That's too well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That was a problem. I think now it's fine to get again. There's something problem. I think. Yep, there is a problem too. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there we have every day. It's okay. Do you guys see any errors there? Let me know if you can find it out. It's okay, run this. This is 12.11. It's 39.23. Very good. 14. Anyone got any errors? Okay, you guys run it and check where is the error actually.
Sir, same code I ran yesterday on my PC. Sir, it is showing error, but when in console type view emp data, then sir it comes in environment.
It's not coming here. Yesterday it ran actually.
Yes, sir.
We wrote yesterday it ran correctly. What's the problem for today? Okay, let me do one thing. This. Okay, that's good. Let's check now. emp.id not found. Now what is this then? Is there any spaces? No. Let's check it.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, is yesterday in the our script you have written print and emp.data, but same code you have written in console, and there you have written view empty.data. Then in environment it has shown the output.
No, I didn't wrote here. I actually run here and it printed. And as soon as it get printed, it automatically writes a code here. We don't have to write view. Let's check still. Let's check emp.data. Could not find the function, and that's what the problem is coming. emp.data, data.frame, and what's the problem? Let me relaunch it. Copy, blank the terminals right here. Okay, let's run now. Well, what is the problem in the script then? Fine, let's see our data. This is something like this. Okay, so string as factors is wrong there. So now we actually want to get the structure of the data frame using the str function. So we'll get the structure. What is basically the structure is? So structure of the data frame will tell you something about your data, which is mmp.data. So you'll get a structure that is 5 observations of the 5 variables. Employee ID, you are having an integer that is 1 2 3 4 5, which is basically this one values, and employee name, you are having characters, these are your names. Salary is a numeric type, which is right, it is something decimal value, so it is numeric type. And start date is a date, and format is like this. String as factors is logical value, and these all are false. Okay, so this is called something as a structure of your data. With the same data, you can get your summary of your data. Now what is summary? Summary is something called as a statistical output of your data. Okay, so let's get statistical output. Gives you actually mean, median, and such like maximum, minimum values. Okay, so let's see what are the statistical value of your data. Let's see, you can see it by using summary over there. Fine. Okay, so let's go and print. You can directly write summary and summary of employee data over there. Please mute. So you got the summary, that is this one, that employee ID for 1, length 5, in the first queue it's 2, median is 3, and you got something salary is like this. For start date column, for string as factors column, for employee ID, employee name, you get the length, you get the class, you get the characters or mode. Actually here you get the maximum value, mean value, median value, first quotient, second quotient. Okay, this is something you get your summary out there. This is called summary. Now if you want to extract data, some data from your data frame, what exactly will we do? Now if I want that, I want to print the employee names, these employee names, and I want to print the you can say as their start date. Okay, so how could I get the data from the there? So basically I'm extracting these two columns, so let's extract it. So for extracting specific columns,
Sir, in summary, what has been described, that median, mean, third quotient, maximum value.
yeah, it actually in a data frame it gives you maximum value of this, right? What is the maximum value from 1 to 5? It's obviously 5 there, right? Minimum value is 1. Then it give you a class, in which class you are there. Mode is something that you know what is mean, what is median, right? For that it is mode there. And quotient is something your middle value, or you can say as your modulus there. Fine. Okay, let's move ahead. False has been repeated for how many times? It's for 5, so it has given 5. Maximum is 4, 5 be there. So let's begin with the extracting of the columns. So what is basically when you want to extract some specific columns? So when we want to extract some specific columns, we're writing a percentile or a dollar sign, what I discussed yesterday. So let me write as col. Okay, cols. This is also right. So let me write as columns. Now for columns I am writing, I want a data frame and a data frame of employee data, and from there I want the employee name, okay, and the employee data. I want the start. I want their start days. That's all. So let's go and print the columns. You will see the extraction. It is employee data, employee name. This is something, this one, and employee data start date is this actually. Okay, so you can get and print any of whatever you want. Okay, so now for these two rows or for these two columns, if I want to access only the John and the Mike value, or if I want to access only the Rick and the John value, not the else 3. Okay, so what I'll do, let's see what to do. So that is specifically called as extracting some specific rows now. Okay, so now we are extracting some specific rows. Let's move. So for rows, let me write it as rows. Okay, now I'm going to get the data, and in the employee data I would be printing the first row and the, what are these two, second column to second column, let me print to second column to everything. Okay, so I want first two rows, and from the second column to 1 2 3, let me print everything out there. So it will print. Okay, you have got rows there, so you can directly write it like rows and press enter. You will get the employee data, everything out there, but only for the two ones. That is why we have given from 1 to 2. That is from, you can see the rows data over there. Okay, this one. So when you will see the rows one, you will see that we have only 2 name out there and every data for that too. Okay, so we are printing actually from the first and till the second, that is from 1 to 2, and everything after these, whatever we have as the columns. So every column we are printing. Now if you specify some their specific columns, it will print out their specific. Okay, so this was the process of how if you can print the first two. Now if you are asked to print the, actually you can say is the third row or the fifth row with the second and the fourth column, now what to do then? Okay, so remember I am printing now the third row and the fifth row with the second and the fourth column. Okay, so let's see how it does. So for that I will be specifying RC, that is rows column. Okay, where it is, RC. So for that I am writing employee dot data, and then you specify actually your rows. So my rows are 3 and 5th, and my columns are second and fourth. That's, it's very simple how you get it. Okay, So RC, you want to access the third and fifth row with the respective fourth and the second and the fourth column. Okay, so just hit there, go with the RC, and you will get the third and the fifth row with respect to only the third, and you can go and see RC actually. You go and see with the second and the fourth column, you've got the third and the fifth row. This is how you actually get some data. Okay. Now what happens? If I have a set of data and I want to expand one column out there. Okay. So what I will be doing it. Okay. So for getting that, I'll be doing it as I think I could do it something and then follow it. So now I'm doing a work called as adding rows. Okay, sorry, columns. I want to add a particular column. Let's suppose we say we have a set of data, so I want to add. First, let us see what we have as data. So I want to add some here and let it be a department. So I'm writing emp dot data, and there I want to add something that is a department, and in that department I want to write the department name. So let me write IT operations or R&D IT HR. Please, from someone background noises are coming, so please mute. Finance. So we got IT, R&D, IT, HR, and finance there. Okay. Now get the data. Let's see what comes. So now you can see a column has been added with the department name, and you can see there out fine. Okay. So this is how you add a particular column. You first have to write the dataset name and then give the $sign, and whatever column name you want to give, you write the name and then specify your number of objects or things, whatever you want. Okay. Let's go ahead. And what if we want to add a row inside this? Now what if I want a new name with a new start date and string server? What if I have to write a new there? Fine. Okay, so let me add more 5-6 rows with the same codes. So let me take everything out there, copy it. Let's see if it works or not. There's an error. Okay. So let's edit something here. Let me write employee data from 6 to 8. And now I'm changing my names to 3. Let it be my friend's name. There is 3 of my friend's name. Let me their salaries be. Let me cut it from 2 of them. Okay, we have start dates. So let the start dates be same. Let these be the start dates. I'm giving the departments to give them IT, R&D, and HR. String as factors as false, and just give as department over there. And now this is employee new data. Okay, employee ID has been given, right? Let's see, copy it, paste it over here, get enter, and I think it has completed. So if I get employee, yep, it has done. So it's C678 and we have a new data frame out there, very easy. Okay, now if I want to add these with my previous data frame, that was because if you check here, the new data frame, that is this one, come on, okay, so you get the values here, fine. Now I want actually to add this one to my this data, this one. Okay, so what I will do, let me close this, shift it straight, so we are actually binding the two data frames, right? So I have a final data, and that could be rbind of the EMP data and the new EMP of new data. Now let's check the final data. So you can see now the rows to have been added up there, and you have got everything out there, fine. You have employee name, salary, start date. Any confusions to anyone? No. So you have seen this has been done there very easily. Okay, so this is how we deal with the data frames. If you want to get a summary, structure, anything out there. Okay, if you want to add a column, you want to access any particular column, any particular rows, you want to add rows, then you can use that rbind, that is row bindings, okay, for columns. And this is how we deal with the data frames. So let's check up PPT out there. Have it. Desktop. Let's move. Now we are actually having the flow statements. So the flow statements or conditional statements actually play a very important role as they allow you to control the flow of execution of a scripts inside a function. Now we have actually a very much type of the flow control statements, and you get so as the control statements exactly. So you also call that it as decision making. Okay, so anyone, something else, messaged someone. Yes, I have shared the PPT, right? I didn't have, right? I have shared, I think. Okay, I'll give you the link again. Okay, so decision making is something. Now, decision making structures require the programmer to specify one or more conditions to be evaluated or tested by the program. Okay, so we get some of the structures of how to move on with if you have conditions over there, that you do one statement or you consider this statement. If this is false, then move to another one, and there you have only some 2 or 3 kind of conditions, so you can define your conditions there. Okay, so let's get back to PPT. So as we can see, we have repeat, for, while, break, next, if else, switch, everything there. Okay, so we have some called as selectors statements. Okay, now these are basically selectors that you don't have to choose anything. The selectors will we have 3 kinds there, that is if, if else and switch statement. Okay, so what if will do? If will basically, an if statement consists a boolean expression followed by one or more statements, and it will evaluate a single condition there. Okay. Now what if else will do? An if else statement can be followed by an optional else statement which executes the boolean expression in, and it gives always false there. Okay, it's false statement. Okay, and it evaluate a group of statement under a selection of statements. Okay, now what switch statement actually does? A switch statement allows a variable to be tested for equality against a list of values. That's very boring. Okay, so let's deal with the practicals. We'll understand. The switch statement will check for the different known possibilities and will select the statement then. Okay, so let's see how it works. So first of all, we'll go with the if statement. So if statement, the control statement evaluates a single condition. It is quite easy as it is a single keyword if followed by the condition and then a certain set of statements that need to be get executed in case of true. So you start the program, you check the condition. If the condition is true, it's very simple. You go with the conditional codes there and you end the code, come out of the code there, right? Now, if the condition is false, it will directly go and end the program. It will not go in the conditional codes there, right? You come in the program, you check for the condition, it's true, go with the conditional codes and end the program. You come with the condition, you come start the program, come with the condition. If false, directly go and end the program. And that's very simple of how you can go with the if statement. Okay, so let me go, and before let me tell you this one also. So if else statement, so if else control statement, this is a type of control statement, evaluates a group of conditions and select the statements basically. Okay, so what it does, you come, you start the program, it check the if condition. If it is false, it check the else if condition. If it is again false, it will go to the else condition and will exit the program. Okay, now if you come there, if condition gets true, it will check the if code and will end the program. Again you come with the if code. If your if is false, it will check for the else if condition. If else if condition is true, it will go to the else if code and then will end the. Okay, so you have three conditions here basically. You come here, it's true, go with this and end. You come again, if it is false, go with this, and if it is true, go with this. If it is false, go with the else and end the program. So am I clear to everyone about the if and if else? You guys, let me ask you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, to everyone, Depan, Adarsh, fine. Yep, let's move then. So let's do a small program of if else. So let me do. Yep. Let me clear this. Okay, this is. So let's go and get a very simple code out there with if. Let it be this one. Suppose I'm writing my x is equals to 2. Okay, so x is equals to 2 now, and now going, I haven't dealt with the repeat one, so I'll repeat it. So after x equals to 2, I will be repeating my sentence for that's the problem. Okay, I'll have to deal with the scripts over there. Let's deal with this. Clear this. let us write x equals to 2. I'll be repeating my sentence till x equals to x to the power 2, and try to understand, and I'll explain then. Now write if x is greater than 100, okay, I'll break the code there. There you go. Okay, so try to understand what I have done is I have written x equals to 2 for repeat. In repeat, I have checked, I have given a parenthesis, and I have checked that if x is equals to, actually I am repeating this statement for a number of times till the x is greater than 100 and x equals to x to the power 2, and then print the x whatever the value comes. So first 2 will come, 2 to the power 2, that is 4, and it will check though it is greater than 4, no it is not greater, then proceed again and it will come there and it will check for 4 to the power of 2, that is 16, okay, 16, right, 4 into 4, 16, yes. So 16 there comes, and then 16 square 256, now 256 is greater than 100, it will break out there. So let's run the program, you get the output as 416 and 256. Clear guys, what has been done? You have got x equals to 2, you are repeating the statement with statement which is x equals to x to the power of 2. In case of any other programming language, it's for and while loop, if you have got to make it some sense of it. So you will get to understand that in any other it is for and while, and here we are dealing with it repeat statement. So I am repeating the sentence, a block of code actually, which is x equals to x to the power of 2, and I am printing after making that calculation, and I am checking after that printing that if my x is greater than 100, I will break out the statement, I will come out of the loop. So first 2 comes inside there, 2 to the power of 2 is something 4, it gets printed the 4 there, and 4 will be printed out, and it will check 4 is greater than 100, no it's false, so it will move again in the repeat section, and now 4 to the power of 2 is 16, you've got printed out 16 there, now 16 will be checked, now it's again false, it go there, 16 to the power of 2, it's 256, it's greater than 100, it will break out. So am I clear to everyone there? So my net problem, okay, you will get the videos, right Deepak, no need to worry, we are recording the videos every day, so we'll get there. Where is the fifth guy? Is something, his name is Parth S. He called me day before yesterday that he will be attending the sessions. Okay, so let's move ahead. Yes, everyone has understood. So this is how else work actually. Okay, now it can get back to the PPT. So first of all, what happened is it will never actually enter the loop where it checks the condition. Okay, so if the condition is true, conditional code or statements will be executed, and if it very simple, if the condition is false, the statement gets ignored. That's all, very simple. So in the else if code, what happens? So it will try a program for the else if. So what happened here is, first of all, it will enter the loop where it checks the condition. If the condition is true, the first if statement will get executed, and if the condition is false, then it goes to the else if condition, that is this one, and if it is true, the else if condition will be get executed, and finally if the else if code is also false, it will go to the else code and will execute this one. That's very simple it is. So let's make a program of it too. So we have, okay, there was something, let me clear this one. I'll write, I have x equals to 5. I'm checking till my x is greater than 5. I need to Okay, why it is coming? Yep. So I need to print, and printing x is greater than 5. Else if x is equals to 5, printing for the else term, I'll be simply printing out that x is not greater than 5. So that's all. X is equals to 5 I have given. Now I have given 3 statements that if x is greater than 5, I'll write x is greater than 5. If x is equals to 5, I'll print x is equals to 5. And if x is not these two, then obviously it will print that it is not greater than 5, right? So it will check whether x is greater than 5. If it's so, then it will print x is greater than 5. If this statement is false, if it is not greater than 5, it will check for the second statement, which is else if, and it will check now if it is that x is equals to 5. Now it will check that if it's true, then it will print x is equals to 5. If not there, it will go to the else statement and will check for that. Okay, now these two statements are not correct, and sorry, if it not check here, it will directly go and print that x is not greater than 5, right? Okay, then print it, run this, and we got an expected output there where it is. So this for this for this, and this for this one. So where has been the problem? X is equals to 5 has been printed, though a problem is coming unexpected. So let's see. Once again. Let me zoom it. Where is the problem? Yep, now it's okay. So I got x is equals to 5. Okay, again an error. What's happening is
Sir, maybe else it's maybe there is space.
yes. Else if actually has been written. Let it be with the spaces. Yes, this is because it's not, but it is correct, I think. Space is not a problem, I think so, because it's okay like this. This could be the space. We are getting the correct output, but still there is some sort of error, and this is print. Yeah, keep it here. this, and now nothing is coming out of it. Well, so else if is not the problem, I think so. Any problems today? We are getting a lot of problems. Let's run. We are getting the output. Okay, let's see it afterwards. Now we are getting the output. That's important. We are getting the correct output.
So give a space between else and if.
Else and if. Let's see. Yep, that will work. But still some errors. X is not greater than 5. What is
Sir,
not?
maybe remove the braces, then the error might be resolved.
Which brace is this one?
All these braces after if we remove might the output would recur.
Those have to be given actually, because in Python, right, we write something like this, that if there's a condition
Colon then
and then colon. Now in R, instead of colon, we write this one, right? This one actually. Okay, so we have to write this. So if it's okay, we'll see it further. Still, output is getting correct. So else if, okay, wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. And for if it is correct, this is actually the problem because it needs to be get here. Now it will be okay. That's it. Fine. It's okay now. I'm getting the correct output. That is okay. So this is now the correct output out there. So you need to write it here. Okay. Let's move ahead to the next point. That is your switch statement, I think. Yep, switch statement. So basically these are the control statements which basically are used to compare a certain value. Okay, so what happens here is, first of all, it will enter the switch case which has an expression. Okay, next it will go to the case 1. What you are seeing is the case 1, and it will check the value passed to the condition. If it is true, the statement block will execute. After that, it will break the switch case. Okay. In case that it is false, it will switch to the next case. It will, if case 2 condition is true, it will execute the statement and break from that case. Else, it will again jump to the next case. Okay, and it will goes on continue. Now, let's say you have not specified any case, or there is some wrong input from the user. Then it will go to the default case where it will print your default statement. Okay, so let me write a program of how default functions use. So let's go to the studio again, move it back, and let me define a vector. I'm writing it for 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, and so on. Let's go ahead, and now I'm writing my options, because I want to find the mean. Okay, now I'm writing switch, and now switch, I want to switch the option what I have written. Now I've written here that mean basically is equals to what is mean of? It's mean of VTR. Now mode is equals to mode of VTR. median is equals to median of VTR. Now let's close it. Okay. So what I have done is actually I have written that mean is something this, mode is this, median is this. Okay. Now in option I have written that I want only the mean. It is even though I have written all these three, it will only print me the mean there. Okay. So let's go and run this, and again a problem. It's what object option not found. Well, let's see mean and mean. That's a problem. Why it is not working? See, in every program we are having an error today. So switch for the option mean equals to print, and this is so followed by this. Yes, there need to be some completions. Yeah, and this needs completion. Now let's see. Median in VTR. But expected in errors. Option. Yeah, got it. So now you can see you have got the mean actually of these three. Sorry, exactly of these vectors. You have got the mean. Suppose now you change this and you write, and I get the median. You want to get the mode. So run this, you will get the mode out. This mode is also same there. So let's go for the median and run this. You will check the median. So everything is right, correct. Everything is 275. Well, let's change the numbers. Let's run this. Okay, this is not done. Yep, no, it's okay. So getting this mode, and yep, you got the mode, and mean. So whatever option you choose, you will be getting those. So this is basically the switch case used as. Okay, so you have used switch, and for what option you have written for this. Now if something comes as what you haven't given, it will go to the default statement. So you will write your default statement and it will work for accordingly. Okay, so let's move to the PPT. Understood everyone? Or is there any problem? How many are there? Oh, we have 3 now. Yes, where has this guy gone? Deepak Sri having network problems is well out. Okay, so every day we do with these 3 guys, right? Adarsh, Deba, and Lakshmi. Okay, let's move ahead. Now go to the code. And move to the loops. So what are loops now? So basically loops help you to repeat a certain set of actions so you don't have to perform them repeatedly. Imagine you need to perform an operation 10 times. Now if you start writing the code for each time, right, the length of the code and the length of the program increases and it would be difficult for you to understand it later. But at the same time, by using a loop, if I write the same statement inside a loop, it saves time and make easier for code readability. You can say it also gets more optimized and with respect to the code efficiency. So we have there three kind of loops, which is repeat, while, and for. Right? We have used repeat, and you have seen how we can repeat the statements there. Okay. So repeat and while statements will help you to execute a certain set of rules until the condition is true. But for is a loop that is used when you know how many times you want to repeat a block of statement. If you know that you want to repeat it for 10 times, then you will go for with the for statement. But if you are not sure about how many times you want to get your code executed or repeated, we will go with the repeat or while loop. So let's discuss about the repeat, while, and for there. Okay. So loop statements I've got. Okay. Repeat. So repeat loop will help to execute the same set of code again and again until a stop condition is met. So just refer this image actually. So you have a block. What happens is here, first of all, it will enter the execute block and will check for a set of codes there. Next, it will check the condition, which is your condition, and if it is true, it will go back to the execution, and with the same set of code, it will execute until it has to be false. Okay, this is something. It will come there, execution block. It will check the condition, and if the condition is true, it will go again to the execution block, and it will repeat till the condition become false. Okay, so this is how repeat works on. So we have seen actually how repeat works, and a small program of repeat we have done in the first. Our first program was also of repeat, if you remember. So this one, if you remember this guy. So this is a statement of repeat. Sorry. Let's move ahead. So now you get the while.
Can you explain the diagram of repeat?
Repeat. Okay, sure. So what repeat does is actually it will come and it will get to the execution blocks, right? Exactly what it has to execute in the code, what it has to execute exactly. So after checking, after seeing this block, it will go to the condition and will check the condition. Now, what is the condition? Is it true or is it false? So if the condition is true, it will go and repeat the execution block, and it will repeat until the condition become false. Okay, now once the condition become false, it will exit the loop. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are flow statements of the while. Now what while will do? The while statement also helps to execute the same set of code again and again until a stop condition is met. Now what happens here is something you see. Now in the while one, what happens? First of all, it will check the condition. If it is found to be true, it will execute a set of code. Next, if check the conditions. If it's true, it will execute the same code again. As soon as the condition is false, it will immediately exit the loop there. Very simple. It will again check the condition. If it's true, it will go on executing the block. As soon as it become false, it will exit there. Okay. So let me print something with the whiles. So if I write x is equals to 2 there, okay, and I write while x is less than 1000. After that, writing x is equals to x to power of 2, and just I am printing it. It's a very small statement over there, just run it. So I'll be getting a value till, okay, so I've got the value of the last one actually. This F is implementations. Okay, let me give a small program. Right. Look over there. And I am giving a counter which is basically 2 for now. What this counter will do, I have written while my counter is less than 7, I will have to print the v value, and after printing just increase the counter plus 1, and I'll execute this. CNT not found. CNT not found. Okay, this is 2, this is 3. CNT का so CNT plus 1, that is 2, while loop 7 print CNT plus 1. That's nice. So object CNT very good. No, I will not be found there. Well, good to see. So here you can see now I have given I is equals to 2, and until I is less than 7, print the value of v. What is v there? Hello and while loop. Print the value of v, and after printing every time, now I is 2, after printing every time v, increment the value of I by 1, that is now I will become 3, and we'll check for it. Same with the previous problem, that was we have taken x as your 2 and we checked for, now let me specify it as 1 or 2. Now while x is less than 1000, check for x's to print the x and plus 1. Let's see. So you got the values. So there is a problem in script, I think. Every time status console is getting me the answers and script is making me fool there. every time it shows that you have an object not found, not found. So okay, this script is making me fool from today morning. Okay, so you have got the values there, that is x equals to 2, and this is not necessary to give. Basically, you can deal with this and you will get. So now your x is 2, so 2 to the power of 2 will give you 4, and you have now given 2, 4, now x is 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5. Now 5 to the power of 2 is 25, and 25 plus 1 is 26. Now 26 to the power of 2 is 676, and 676 plus 1 677, and to the power of 2 comes this one. Now this is obviously greater than the 1000, so the loop came out. So are you guys ever able to understand what is the switch statement, if else statement, and also the repeat and the while statement? Everyone is clear with that?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Well, okay. What about Lakshmi?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So girl is giving examination and she's saying, "Sir, please help out." She's left with 20 minutes. Hold on, guys, for some seconds. Let me see. Uh, so, complete the SSOs. Okay, it's a Python code. Uh, it actually needs time. How can I give the answers here? Okay, so our flow statement, while statement has been completed, and let's move to the for statement. So that's right, how it works. So for loop is something you used when you need an execution of block for a several number of times, and you know that how many times you need to execute it exactly. Okay, so here what happens, first of all, there is an initialization where you specify how many times you want to repeat your code. Okay, now in the next it will check for the condition. Right after initialization, it will check for the condition, and if the condition is true, it will execute the set of code for the specified number of times. Okay, that is initialization. Whatever you have done, it will check for the execution and it will iterate. And iteration is nothing but it will repeat it till the number of times you have given there. Okay, so and if it found to be false, it will immediately exit the loop. So let's go and print something in the R. So now let me write as companies, and let me give you an example over there. We have some companies. We have some companies over there, right? So what I did is I've written for I in companies, I'll print the value of I, and that's it. So let me select this, otherwise this script is going to make me fool again. So this is not got it. So you get IBM, Microsoft, and Google. Now rather than printing for one by one, I got it for at a time, right? Now let me give you another example. Let it be, I wrote for, take a vector over there. I gave C, let it be 7, 19, 25, 46, 65, 45, any kind of numbers, 78, 89. Okay, we have some sort of numbers over there. Now what I do is I write for I in VTR. Now again I'll print I. It's very simple to go. Let me copy this, paste over here, and run this. You'll get all the individual numbers over there, right? It's easy, guys. Okay, any problems to anyone here? Let me know if anyone is having any kind of problem over there.
No, sir.
It's great. So that is how we actually go. Now if I write letters, and R letters are there as a keyword, okay, so if I write, let's suppose, take this, I write V of letters, right, and I want letters from 1 to, let's say, 10. Now for I in V, I'll be checking for just printing of the I. Copy this code and just execute it, and you will be getting from 1 to 10 letters, that is A B C D E F G H I J. So instead of writing all those 1 2 A B C D, I just printed over that, and you got, now print this, and now check for this, what you will get if you think of getting like this. So if you run this, you will be getting till here no initializations, right? So go and print from 1 to leave it. Run it. It is right. 26. There comes an error. So now you got everything out there. If I zoom it, you can see there A B C D E F G is everything there. Okay, this is how a for loop actually works on. Okay, so let's move ahead. Okay, this is how a for loop works. Let's move to a PPT, and we'll see for the jump statements. Now these are called as jump statements, these next statements and break, and this is called a like jump statement. So what are actually, so this break okay, next statement is there. So next statement, what does it, next statement is used when you want to skip the current iteration of the loop without terminating it actually. In Python you can go and you can check it for like continue and everything. Okay, so next statement is quite similar to continue in other programming languages, and you can just refer it and you will understand. So you go first to the start. What happens is, first of all, it will enter to the loop where it checks the condition. This is this part, and if the condition is false, it directly exits the loop. Okay, that's a very simple thing. If the condition is false, it's directly exits the loops. If the condition comes to be true, it will execute the block 1 statement, which is this one, and after that it will check for the next statement, and if it is present, then the statements after that will not be executed for the same iteration of the loop. If the next statement is not present, then all the statements after that will be executed. So let's go and print, and you will first of all understand that how to read this image, otherwise you will be confused. So that for execute, yep, let me clear this. Let me write for I in 1 to 15. So if my I, you guys remember what this operator does? If the remainder as 2 is equals to 0, I'll check for the next, and after that I'll be printing my I. That's all. Let's copy, paste, run. Unexpected errors. Okay, so you got the output. It is from 1 to 15. It printed out the values. Okay, and it also checked that okay, this was I exactly, comma. It need not to be print for the two values. Actually, it got everything out there. It needs to get only these values, or yes. Now for the there, what we do actually, we gave by mistake, and I write it 1 divided by 2 percentile 0. So we got every values from 1 to 15. But I need to go for the odd numbers or any numbers which is not divided by 2, and it leaves remainder as 0. So we get these numbers when divided by 2, it does not leaves remainder as 0. So these are the numbers, that is 1, 3, 5 till 7, 15. You get everything out there. Fine. Okay, so this is how you go with and deal with the statements over there. Okay guys, so this is how we go with the, now we are dealing with the functions over there. What are functions and how we can work also. Okay, so first of all, a function is a set of statements together to perform a specific task, right? So R has a large number of inbuilt functions, and the user, to create their own functions, we get the permissions to create our own functions. So function is an object, you can say. So the R interpreter is able to pass control to the functions along with the arguments that may be necessary for the function to accomplish the actions. Okay. So as you see in the PPT, a function is a block of organized, reusable code that is used to perform a single related action. So they are basically it's created by a keyword called as function. So we have some predefined functions, that is sum, square root, upper, mean, and you have got there, right? So what are user defined functions? So user defined functions are created by the user to meet a specific requirement. Okay, so let's go and check. So here you have given a function body, which is you have written a function. There has been a small program given. Let me give you an idea. Okay, so let's go there, clear the console. What happens is, first you go and you go and write your function name there. Okay, then you go and you check for the function, that is argument 1, argument 2, is statements actually. Okay, what do you write there? Yeah, you can write for many times. And then you go for the function body. Okay, and that's all. Everything got confused. So sorry, completed. Okay, so the different parts of the functions, if you write a function over there, So function definition, function body, and function body environment value, everything, right? So different functions have some various values. So what function name is exactly? So function name is the actual name of the function which is stored in our environment as an object with the same name. Okay. So then what are arguments? What I have written arg1, arg2, that is something arguments. Now what is our argument? Argument is basically called as a placeholder where a function is invoked and you pass a value to the argument, right? Arguments are optional basically, that is a function may contain no arguments and it can have some default arguments values. Okay. Now what is function body? This one. What is function body then? So function body contains a collection of statements that defines what exactly the function has been made for, or what is going to execute actually, and what the return will give. You have return there. So what basically the return gives, it gives the value of the function or the last expression. It's always the last expression in the function body. Okay, like we write print after any code, so right in a function the last statement is return. So we have a built-in function that is a sequence of numbers, right? We have used some inbuilt functions. Let me show you some inbuilt functions, so that if I want a sequence of numbers from some range, so I directly go and write a sequence of directly. Okay, let me write it in a console. So I'll be dealing directly with writing for the. Are you guys able to see it? Because it's very down there. So write 3290 over there. Okay, just hit enter. So you will be seeing a numbers list that is 30 to 90. That is a sequence basically. You can say as the range. So I have printed a numbers of sequence 30 to 90 over there. Okay guys, clear? You can write any there. Okay. Now what if I want to find the mean of all these 30 to 90? It's very easy there. I have used also that we need actually to print out the mean of this 30 to 90 numbers. It's very simple. You get 60 out there. What if you want to print the sum of all these 30 to 90, right? No formula, nothing, just go and sorry, you'll get the sum there, right? You know that from 1 to 10 your sum is basically 55, right? From 1 to 100, if you find, you get 5050, like this is called as predefined functions. What I said, right? This one, this is predefined functions. Now let's get to create a user defined function. So this is sum of a square, then function x comma y. So I'll not waste my time by doing so. I'll just select it from here and just copy it. That's all. Okay, so you can see it is sum of a square. I am creating a function for sum of the square, and I'll checking it for function x comma y, where I will be having some values of x and y. So what exactly I will be doing with that x and y? I'll write x square plus y square there. Okay, now I'll find the sum. I just did this. I entered this function, and then I call the function that is sum of square, and I wrote 3 comma 4, that is function of x comma y. I gave the value 3 comma 4. It does the 3 square plus 4 square, and it will return you the value that is 25. 16 plus 9, that is 25. So let's go and see how it works. So are you guys clear with this? Any problems there? Chat. 5 July, I think no extra time. For project submission, I think you have got 1 month time, I think so, right? So which your date, your exam is going to be held on 5th. You ask to ma'am for the project dates actually. Okay, your project date you have. Yesterday I have a conversation with her. She said that you have been given 1 month for completion of a project, and then you will have to submit in some given mail ID, I think. Okay, so that is there. You have time for the project. Don't worry for that. Okay, yeah. For exam you have not much time. Okay, you have exam on the 5th, so that's very good. So are you guys clear with this one? This predefined functions. Sorry, this predefined functions like sum, mean, and sequence, everything. Why shall I? No, it's okay. Yeah, you will be have. Yeah, the task.
Can you repeat that sum of square function one that takes square plus y square?
Which
That one.
which one? This sequence.
No, not this one. That in PPT it was this sum of square, sum underscore square, sum underscore of
Yes,
underscore
I'll
square.
I'll write. I'll write. That is a user-defined function. These are the predefined. That is already defined in R from previously. I don't have to define all this. So are you guys clear with this predefined? Now can I proceed to the user-defined? So I'll create
Yes.
the user-defined functions, and you have to use a lot of functions in your projects. When you will be creating the bank system, you will have to use a lot of function there. Without function, you will not be able to create a project. So let me clear this one. Okay, guys, it's okay. Now what I do is I'll just pasting out the code. So I have sum of the square, and in the sum of the square I want to create a function that is x and y, and I will be writing for those. Now I am calling sum of square of 3 and 4. Just hit it, you will get the output. Now if I write sum of a square and you give some values, that is x and y, it is asking for that give me some values x, y. So if I give it let's suppose 2 and 4, so what exactly it is? The sum of square. So 2, 4 and 16, it's 18, I think. That's it's 20. Okay, it's 4 and 16, right? Okay, yeah, so it's 20. So others understand how it works?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me now create a user defined function more. Let me write, I have created a new function called as function of a, and that's the problem here. So we'll have to switch to my new function, and name would be function of a, where we're starting for I in 1 is to a. Okay, not so. For b, it is I to the power of 2, and I'll be printing it for the b. That's it. Very easy. So understand what is being written. So I've created a new function, right? The function name is new function, and its function is to get a. Now what it will do, it will, if I write function of any particular number, right, what it will do is it will check for I in, it will start from 1, and whatever number I will be writing for, it will create a loop over there. Okay, and for every time it will multiply, or sorry, it will create a square of that, and it will print b. Okay, so let's copy this, okay, let's have a faith on this script and write it for new function. I'm writing for 5. Let's run this. I don't have any faith on this. Create. Paste it over there. There you get it. So really I'm not having any faith on this script now. Console is better for me. So new dot function is something, this one. Okay, so I have given it till 5. Now you can see it has created a length from 1 to 5, and it has given me the square of 1, then followed by the 2, then 3, then 4, and till 5. Okay, now if I give new dot function and it's asking for a value, if I give it 10, you will be getting all the squares of the number till 10. So 1, 4, 9, 16 and so on till 100. Right? Easy guys, understood? So this is how you call a function. Okay, so is this okay with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now I am calling a function without any argument. Now what was my argument here? This is my argument. Okay, this was my argument, that is I am specifying a. Now I am calling a function without any argument. Let me write for that. I need to specify for 5 here and copy it. Enter. I get the values without any arguments. Still your function is getting a value. Okay, because you have in your function you have written that you need to generate numbers from 1 to 5 and you have to iterate over there. That is your output. Okay, so sometimes you can give arguments, you may not give arguments. That's not necessary to give arguments. Okay, so the arguments to a function call can be supplied in the some sequence as defined in the function. Okay, so let me give one more example with some arguments and with default arguments, and we'll sum up there. Okay, so let's move. Let's create function over there and we'll run in the console. New function, and I'm writing it as function of A, B and C A multiplied by B plus C got to result. Okay, so I built a function that is A multiplied by B and then followed by C. It's very easy guys here. Okay, so just go and call the function that is new dot. Let me write for it. Oh shit. Copy it, print it, run it, successfully ran. Okay, now I'm checking for the new function that is this, and it asks for ABC. Let me give the values 5, 3, 11. Okay, so run this, you will getting 26. How? 5 multiplied by 3, that is 15, plus 11 is 26. Easy guys. That's how you get out the executions for the new function. Okay, now so with some default arguments or something, you have a default value there and you go with that. Now for the default value is nothing but you specify some values over there. Okay, now you have specified that A should always be 3 or B should always be 6. Okay, that's some default. Let's remove the C. So in this case what you will getting result is you don't need to have any specifications. Just go and print for the new function. You don't have to write anything there out, and it is giving that A is equals to 3 and B is equals to 3. Just go and hit enter, you will get the values always. Okay, right guys, So now if you want that new dot function with some new values 9 comma 18, you'll get the values. Okay, so by default also you can get the values if you don't write anything out there, and if you want to write, you can write there and you can move it over there. Okay, so arguments to functions are basically evaluated by lazily there and right, which means so that are evaluated only when when the function's body needs them. Okay, so let's make one more lazy evaluation of a function there. So it will ask for the function. Okay, moving ahead, let's go with this one. Let me write for a and b. That's particularly for this. Yep, I'll be doing it for the commands of line, that is print a squared. Now print the value of a, print the value of b. That's it. Copy it, paste it, give an enter. That's nice. So if I write now new dot function, write at something, any value over there. Let's say I write only 6. So this will give you the value that argument b is missing with no default, right? So you guys understand what is default value there? You need to give some default values. As no default values is there, it hasn't printed b out there. Okay, it has printed a squared, that is 36, a is 6, but no b values, because as b is not given any particular value, so it can't be printed. Right guys, understood what is default value, how function works on? Okay,
Yes, sir.
that's very good. Let's move ahead now. Okay, so there we go with the file handling options. What are file handling? And you are nearby about to complete your course now. Yep, you are very much near to complete your course. Based on this, then we will be having some sessions for practicing for the examination. Okay, so let's move. Okay, so let's deal with the file handling. So in case of file handling, what happens is we have many type of files over there. We have CSV, we have Excel, binary files, right? So Python are these all except some binary files. Okay, anything after the text is the binary files. Okay, XML, JSON file, web data, databases. This is how it works. So in R, actually we can read data from files stored outside the R environment. Okay, in your desktop, downloads, anywhere. Okay, we can also write data into files, or which can be stored and easily accessed by the operating systems, and R can actually read and write to in those formats, in different formats, that is CSV, Excel, XML, database, JSON file, web data, whatever you want. Okay, that can be gone through. Now you can work with setting and working your directories. So for getting a directory in a workspace, you can directly go and check for GETWD, that is get the work directory. Okay, and it also set the work directory. You can set your work directories there. Okay, it is very easy, and you can print get WD for checking your exactly current work directory. Okay, so let's go and see how work directory works. So if I write there code, let's see what comes. If I write print get work directory, So get it's like users and then followed by my Mac name and then so on. Okay. So you can set to that if you want anywhere else inside the users, you can set also. That is for setting, you will be writing this for set WD, and in the undercodes you will be writing some values, that is users. Suppose you have written users, I'm writing this to only, I'm not changing my directory. Let it be this, copy this and pasting over this. I'm not changing, you can change your one. Okay, you can check also that your directory has been changed. I'm not changing, I'm just saying you that you can write over this and you can check your directory, that is just get enter out there. It's very simple, just hit an enter and your directory will be changed. Okay, now you can again go and check out the directory, you will get there. It's again like this. For me it's again, you can change your, you can get yours. Okay, so this is how you get to learn about these files. Okay, so now let me create a Excel sheet. Okay, and we'll be reading our data now and we'll see how data works on. So let me go and let me create an Excel sheet very clear, very fast. How much time we are left with? It's 10 minutes, so let's go and do this. Let me create an Excel file as soon as possible there. So where is the mouse then? Okay, get started. Start using. Good to go. So I've used Excel after a very long of time. Okay, blank workbook. Just get it. Fine. Just get it over there. So I'll be writing ID, some names, some salary over there, their start date and their departments. Okay, so I'm having some IDs, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, or maybe some man values. No ID is there, 7 8. Okay, so let me write some names, that is Rick, Dan, wait, cut short, Mike. Okay, it can be any names. Ryan, Gary. Okay, let's capital. So I've written some values particular. Salary should be, what is this? Oh, no. So that girl will be really 15 minutes left with her. Okay, just done. We have 6 minutes left with us. Let's do very fast. Let's complete the formatting. That's all. Everything has been saved. And there we got the numbers. We had everything. Is there any? Yes. I don't think so. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 up there. Right? We have 8 numbers. That is this one, and we have so. So let's quickly go and save it as a CSV file. I want some CSV files, and let's name it as a basic input or sample data. Let me store it in my desktop. Save it. Okay, let me save it as sample data, and let me save in this one so that the directory would be saved. Okay, now let's minimize this, move to the R, and let's work now. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'll be giving an input to my file. Now I'll be writing data, and I'll be reading.csv, and there you need to add mention your CSV name. That is my sample data.csv. Any errors there? No, fine. It has been read correctly. Now see guys, if your directory is different, go and set your directory accordingly there. Okay, so this sample data, where it has been data, this is their data. You can see there whatever I have been given, I found it on R there. It's very easy. You can go accordingly and you can match anything there, right guys? You can sort it out for anything you want. And let's go, and you can actually go and see your data here too. That is this one. Okay, so this is something you can write. So this is for today. That is how can you add data. Then we'll work from tomorrow that how can you analyze and just work with your data very well. Okay, so let me stop it.